Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bold and Beautiful Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. After Hope leaves Carter, Steffy has a positive, euphoric outburst about Luna and Bill. Steffy tells Luna she's a monster at Bill's house. She has no idea what Bill was thinking when he decided to get her out of jail, but that's precisely where she's going. Luna is very sorry for what she did. Not terrible enough to do your time, apparently, Steffy yells. Luna despises herself for what she done, especially towards Steffy, who is her father's wife. Since she will never be in a relationship with him again, Steffy advises her not to become too accustomed to calling him that. Steffy is informed by Luna that Finn is her father. According to Steffy, it is irrelevant. She is a part of Finn, he is a part of her, and they are all related, so Luna responds, of course it matters. At last, Luna gets her truth when Steffy hisses at her, saying, Hayes is my brother now. Don't ever say his name again. Everything would have been different if she had known. She begs Steffy not to separate her from Finn. Bill emerges from the shadows and exclaims, Steffy. Steffy erupts. This creature attempted to murder her. How was he able to adopt her? How? Finn informs a patient on the phone in his office that sometimes your past actions still have an impact on you today. He pauses at this. After disconnecting, he shows Steffy in disbelief that Luna is under house arrest at Bill's. Sheila emerges as Finn sighs. Hard day? She wanted to stop by because she happened to be in the building. Finn informs his biological mother that she shouldn't be present. Sheila can sense that something is up in his eyes as he says, I can't do this right now. Sheila is unconvinced despite Finn's assurances that he is alright. She can tell he's carrying something heavy as she pulls up a chair. She shouldn't even be there, according to Finn. Oh, because of Steffy, she clucks. No, says Finn. Sheila apologizes for what she did, but her blood is still flowing through his and his child's veins because of you. Finn scowls. Sheila continues talking about how painful it has been for her to be near her child. I am going to have to live with the consequence of losing the chance to be your mother for the rest of my life. Carter should tell Daphne to go, according to Hope. Hope asks Carter to inform Daphne that it's time to return to Paris, today at Forrester Creations. Carter wonders, Hope? Hope queries his hesitation. Daphne must leave since she went too far and violated their trust. Carter, isn't that correct? According to Hope, Daphne doesn't respect her, them, or Forrester. This isn't Forrester, but Daphne disputes that. Carter is asked if he believes the business is better off without the Forresters. According to Hope, Daphne is attempting to instill guilt in him. She doesn't have to, according to Daphne. Observe him. Forrester is dying since his family is taking him away. When she first arrived, she wasn't expecting to admire Carter, but she was taken aback to discover that he has morals and beliefs. Hope's eyes tighten, as opposed to me? Daphne claims that Carter got lost, but Hope is just like this. Carter was tormented by the thought of taking over, but did his devoted friend try to stop him or did he sense an opening? Open your eyes. Hope is taking advantage of you. Hope claims that this story about her abusing people is becoming stale because she worked for years to establish a profitable line. Then you were fired, your line was killed, what changed? Daphne asks. Daphne tells Hope that she has been there long enough to form her own opinion, despite Hope's suspicion that she has been speaking to Steffy. Carter is a decent man who went astray to protect Hope. I didn't, Carter replies, and Daphne responds, what? Are you lost? You did, indeed. Daphne claims that she and Carter have spent a lot of time together sharing stories because of her. Hope mockingly remarks, you don't know anything about us. Hope has only been there for him. She believes Daphne is looking for a boyfriend. Once more, she requests that Carter tell the perfumer to leave Forrester and never return. Carter tells Hope that although he loves her, it would be a mistake to ask Daphne to go. She must understand how a single kiss might occur. You want Daphne to stay? Hope yells. yes, Carter responds. Daphne should avoid returning to Paris for the sake of the business. Hope glares while Daphne smiles. Hope finds it hard to accept Carter's support for Daphne. He is supporting Forrester. Carter reminds her that they acquired control of this business so they could manage it impartially. Carter tells Hope she apologized. Hope responds, she kissed you. They must treat Daphne with the same decency they wish Steffy had shown her. Hope claims that Steffy is in her thoughts and accuses her of taking advantage of him. According to Carter, it's not about her opinion, but rather the scent. It doesn't matter. He believes Daphne must remain in Los Angeles. Hope leaves. Carter comes next. When Daphne is by herself, she tucks her passport back in her purse and remarks, in French, Quelle famille dramatique, what a tragic family. Sheila at the hospital wants to help Finn and asks if Steffy is the cause of the problem. Finn assures her that he will sort out whatever he is dealing with. No, Sheila says. She wishes to assist. She is descended from him. There is nothing that can break a parent-child bond. She puts her hands on his and says, I miss you. You and my grandchild are sorely missed. Bill and Luna are placed on notice by Steffy. Steffy asks Bill, what the hell was he thinking, at his house? Luna pinned her mother after killing 2 men. She abandoned her to perish in a cage. Bill claims that she is still serving her term and is unable to leave the property, so he says, you got her out of prison, and you left your granddaughter without a mother. Steffy claims he has no control over her. He knows her better than anyone else, Bill grunts. Steffy objects. She tricked him into believing that he was her dad. This small connection he believes they share is a falsehood. According to Bill, it isn't. Although what Luna did was awful, he can help her because she is a broken person. Steffy inquires as to whether she has been there the whole time. No one could know, according to Bill, because they wouldn't comprehend. A terrible hand has been dealt to Luna. Although that doesn't excuse her actions, she has the rest of her life to atone. According to Steffy, Luna is a bad person who ought to be imprisoned. She will exert every effort to ensure that occurs. You'll stop at nothing to reincarcerate your husband's daughter? Bill mocks. To ruin any possibility of a deep connection between them? Steffy, really? Are you certain you could accomplish that? Steffy is informed by Luna that her life has been nothing but nightmares. She should save the sob story, Steffy advises. Luna contends that she feels she has some redeeming qualities after learning that Finn is her father. Steffy claims that she is a murderer with no redeeming qualities. Luna contends that Finn failed to see what she does when he glanced at her. He saw his daughter. She continues, I could feel his love. They bond and connect. Steffy tells her that she killed 2 men and set up her mother, saying, you know that you're a parent. How did Poppy's relationship with her parents turn out? She has no concept what it was like to grow up with her, Luna laments. What she had been lacking in her life was Finn. B&B Steffy Luna. Luna wants to demonstrate her transformation to Steffy, Bill, and Finn. You are insane, yells Steffy. And you. Bill, you are so naive, she continues, turning to face him. People change, Bill responds. Yells Steffy, enough. She is not interested in hearing it. What Luna has to say is irrelevant to Steffy because she killed 2 people. She will make it her personal goal to put her back in prison, regardless of the bribes or other means Bill had to use to get her out. And, Bill, you know me. I'll do everything in my power to keep my family safe. Steffy, I am your family. Luna screams. Steffy yells, no, you're not. To me, you are nothing. Finn especially doesn't care about you. You're not his daughter. You are not important to him. He has no desire to live with you. She believed she saw pity rather than love in his eyes. No, says Luna, shaking her head. Yes, it was, Steffy responds. I recognize you perfectly, Luna. You attempted to murder me. I pleaded to be spared. I looked for any kind of humanity in your eyes, and I wanted to see my kids. I was unable to view it, though. It was absent. All you wanted was for me to move aside. I simply caused you some sort of inconvenience. Therefore, it doesn't matter to me if you believe that you are related to Finn or that he is a part of your DNA. He is not your father's daughter. Luna, you never will be. Never. The bold and the beautiful have delivered a trifecta of dramatic confrontations that are as heart-wrenching as they are unpredictable, beginning with the shocking moment when Lee, whose simmering resentment and deeply buried sense of betrayal have festered beneath her cool exterior for far too long, loses all restraint and physically assaults Poppy in a scene of raw, visceral fury. As tensions reach a boiling point in a private yet opulent setting within the Forrester mansion, Lee's hands clench. With a ferocity that seems to embody years of accumulated hurt and disillusionment, and in one staggering moment, she chokes Poppy, a symbolically charged act that not only shatters the long-held illusion of Poppy's calm, diplomatic leadership but also exposes the dark undercurrents of deception and moral compromise that have undermined the family's unity over the years. The assault, caught on camera and set against the backdrop of gleaming marble halls and the hushed whispers of stunned onlookers, becomes a turning point that forces every member of the Forrester inner circle to confront the consequences of a legacy built on secrets and betrayals, as Lee's violent outburst reverberates like a death knell through the corridors, leaving Poppy gasping and humiliated while the shock of the event ripples outward, destabilizing alliances and igniting simmering grudges that had long been kept under wraps. Just as the raw shock of Lee's attack sends shockwaves through the family, a parallel storyline erupts in the form of Luna's war, a bitter, internal struggle that pits Luna against the forces that have long kept her in the shadows of a glamorous yet suffocating world, where she has been forced to battle not only external enemies but also the pervasive influence of those who would deny her a rightful place in the legacy of Forrester creations. Luna, whose life has been defined by a fierce yearning for identity and belonging amidst the dazzling opulence and ruthless ambition of the family empire, now finds herself embroiled in a conflict that goes beyond petty squabbles, as long-held resentments and a deep-seated desire for autonomy propel her into a war of words and wills against figures who have attempted to control her destiny, leaving her no choice but to declare her independence in the face of overwhelming opposition, her voice, once quiet and tentative, now rising in a defiant roar that underscores her determination to claim the power and recognition that have been denied her for too long, even as she grapples with the bitter reality that the very family that should have embraced her may be the source of her deepest wounds. This internal strife, characterized by emotionally charged confrontations and strategic maneuvers in both personal and corporate arenas, creates a backdrop of relentless tension in which Luna's war becomes a metaphor for the generational struggle between the old guard's insistence on maintaining control through manipulation and the new wave of rebellious ambition that seeks to overturn an established order founded on outdated loyalties and unyielding traditions. Amidst these explosive and volatile conflicts, a contrasting yet equally pivotal force emerges in the form of Sheila's empathy, a quiet, steadfast current of compassion that runs counter to the brutality and self-serving ambition displayed by others, and which serves as a beacon of hope and healing within the chaos. Sheila, whose life has been marked by both profound personal loss and the burden of upholding a legacy that spans generations, steps forward with a calm, measured presence that belies the storm raging around her, offering a rare glimpse of genuine understanding and emotional support in a world otherwise dominated by ruthless ambition and bitter retribution. Her empathetic intervention, conveyed through soft-spoken words and tender gestures, provides a counterbalance to the harshness of Lee's violent attack and the unyielding, defiant proclamations of Luna's war, suggesting that even in the darkest moments of familial betrayal and corporate power struggles, there remains a possibility for reconciliation and growth if one is willing to confront the truth with both honesty and compassion. As she gently reminds everyone in attendance that although the wounds caused by years of secrecy, manipulation, and unbridled ambition are deep, they are not insurmountable if approached with a willingness to forgive and rebuild. Sheila's ability to listen without passing judgment and to provide comfort to those caught in the whirlpool of anger and despair becomes the pivot upon which the possibility of future healing rests. Her compassionate manner stands in stark contrast to the explosive energy of Lee's physical assault on Poppy, a violent, cathartic act that, while serving as a release for pent-up emotions, also runs the risk of widening the rifts that have long separated the various factions within the Forrester clan. and offers a vision of an alternate path where communication and understanding might pave the way for long-lasting change. Luna's War, which represents the struggle for identity and autonomy in a legacy rife with control and suppression, Lee's raw, uncontrolled violence, which breaks the facade of calm and reveals the raw underbelly of familial betrayal, and Sheila's unwavering empathy, which is a testament to the possibility of healing even the deepest of wounds, intersect throughout the week to create a narrative tapestry that is as complex as it is emotionally charged, weaving together themes of retribution, liberation, and the enduring human capacity for forgiveness. Every hushed discussion in the dimly lit hallways of Forrester Creations, every tearful look shared after Lee's assault, and every subtly resolute look on Sheila's face remind us that beneath the glistening exterior of riches and power is a world of complicated, frequently conflicting emotions, where the need for self-justification can result in violent acts, and where the only way to be saved is to bravely admit our suffering and be willing to show compassion even to those who have wronged us. The effects of Lee's choking of Poppy, the intense battle lines drawn in Luna's War, and the calming yet transformative impact of Sheila's empathy are felt throughout the Forrester empire as the dust settles on this week of turbulent events. These events challenge long-standing alliances, redefine personal relationships, and force every member of the family to face the stark reality that, in a world built on the delicate interplay of ambition, betrayal, and loyalty, the price of maintaining power is measured not only in wealth and influence but also in the scars born from unhealed wounds and the courage required to face them head-on. The events of the week stand as a powerful testament to the timeless truth that even the most explosive confrontations can yield the seeds of future transformation, if only those who have been hurt can find within themselves the strength to embrace empathy, to forgive, and ultimately to rebuild the shattered bonds that have long held the legacy of Forrester Creations together. This is in light of the relentless, high-stakes drama in which every act of defiance and every moment of vulnerability is magnified under the unforgiving scrutiny of public expectation and internal rivalry. Bill's defense of Luna, who claims Hayes is her brother, infuriates Steffy, and Carter and Hope argue when he refuses to fire Daphne. Today on Bold and the Beautiful, Luna says she has changed, Finn is upset when Sheila shows up at his workplace, and Daphne is adamant that Carter has been used. Friday's B&B recap, Daphne calls Hope a user, and when Finn clarified that she was at Bill's, Steffy approached Luna and gave him a hard time. Steffy claims that Luna is a monster at Bill's and that she will be sent back to prison. She is unable to comprehend Bill's motivation for taking her there. Luna is very sorry for what she did. Steffy informs her that she will never date Finn because she doesn't think she feels bad enough. Steffy yells at Luna to never mention her name when she claims that Hayes is her brother and that they are now all family. Luna implores her not to take Jin away, claiming to have discovered her truth. Steffy demands to know how Bill could have permitted the monster to leave prison as he enters. Steffy is furious and rants about how dangerous Luna will be in their lives, but he maintains that he has this under control. He can aid Luna, who is a broken person. Finn obviously found out, even if he didn't want anyone to know. Luna has her entire life to atone for her crimes, but he won't excuse them. Steffy declares Luna to be evil and promises to use every resource at her disposal to put her in jail. Bill questions whether she may truly ruin Finn and his daughter's chances of developing a deep bond. Steffy tells Luna to keep the sob tale to herself as she rambles on about how difficult her life has been. She can't possibly be excellent. Sheila's blood is in her. Luna notes that Finn also does. Steffy reminds her of what she did to Poppy as she continues to talk about the paternal tie. She tells Bill that he is naive and declares that she is insane. Steffy will make it her goal to lock Luna up and tell her that she is worthless and that Finn has no interest in living with her. Finn merely feels sorry for her, he doesn't love her. Luna, according to Steffy, lacks humanity and will never be Finn's daughter. Finn pauses for a minute while speaking on the phone with a patient in his office about how his lifestyle is harming his life in the long run. At Bill's, he remembers informing Steffy that Luna was under house arrest. Sheila stops by to greet her attractive son. She shouldn't be there, he says with a sigh. He is incapable of doing this. She can see he's bothered by something. She shouldn't be there, he tells her. She says she's not that person anymore and apologizes for what she did, blaming Steffy for it. She reminds him that his and his child's blood are intertwined. She missed out on parenting him, and all she can hope for is that he doesn't miss out on becoming a parent too. For the rest of her life, she will have to live with that loss. Sheila surmises that Steffy is involved in the problem. She maintains that a parent-child bond cannot be broken by anything. Hope causes Carter to inform Daphne that she must return to Paris right away because she has no place at the design studio given what she has done. Hope steps up when he falters. Daphne claims to like and appreciate Forrester, but this company isn't like that. Daphne notes that Carter is tormented by what he has done to the Forresters, despite Hope's accusation that she is manipulating him. Although he is a man with convictions and values who lost his path, she was anticipating to meet an egomaniac. "You kept yours, didn't you?" Daphne tells Hope, "This is exactly who you are." Carter states that he came up with the notion to take over the business. Hope took advantage of it to obtain what she desired, but Daphne notes that it was one that tormented him. Hope claims that Steffy is the source of her skewed views and is fed up with the myth that she is a user. She is dismissed by Daphne, who maintains that she knows Carter and that he is just looking for the perfect woman. Hope believes that she is projecting. She begs Carter, in a whisper, to tell Daphne to go and never return. He understands that she is furious, but it would be a mistake to make Daphne leave. It was only a kiss, and her leaving would be a horrible business decision. He is aware that Hope is angry, but it's best for Daphne's company. Hope glares and Daphne smirks. She maintains that Steffy is in Daphne's mind, and Hope finds it hard to understand that he believes they must afford Daphne grace. None of that matters, according to Carter. As long as everyone simply performs their duties, there are no issues. Hope leaves. Carter follows his irate girlfriend after Daphne gives him a look. Daphne reflects on all the family drama while seated behind the desk. The Bold and the Beautiful revolves around two pivotal moments that have completely upended the family: Lee's long-awaited retaliation against Poppy and the intimidating task that Finn must now undertake. These events reveal hidden grudges, unresolved emotions, and the unavoidable price of ambition in a society where loyalty is scarce and trust is as brittle as glass in the hands of those who dare to betray it. Under her placid exterior, Lee had been harboring a simmering rage for years, a rage that grew with every slight and every covert act of deception by those in the inner circle of Forrester Creations. Her heart, scarred by years of unspoken grievances and muted disappointment, finally boiled over when she discovered the truth about Poppy's persistent manipulation and the covert deals that had long undermined the sanctity of their family's legacy. She had no choice but to exact a personal and symbolic retribution, a reckoning that would crack the carefully crafted facade of Poppy's dignified authority. Lee confronted Poppy in a private yet explosive showdown that encapsulated years of pent-up emotion and the overwhelming desire for accountability. Her words were like arrows aimed at Poppy's reputation, and her actions, a combination of physical outbursts and unrestrained verbal denunciation, served as a cathartic release of the anger and betrayal she had carried for so long. Every gesture, every cry, and every trembling admission was a declaration that the days of covert compromises and silent suffering were over, and that those who had taken advantage of trust for their own gain would now have to pay the price. Another storm was brewing on a different front as Lee's rage echoed through the lavish hallways of Forrester Creations, casting long shadows over the legacy that had been so meticulously constructed on promises and shaky alliances. Finn, the mysterious character whose charm and strategic reticence had long concealed his inner turmoil, was now facing a challenge that threatened to upend not only his personal identity but also the future of the relationships he held dear. Following Lee's explosive confrontation with Poppy, which revealed not only Poppy's deceit but also the inherent weaknesses in the family's leadership, Finn was forced to deal with a crisis of conscience and duty. He was now facing an ultimatum from those who wanted him to act decisively to restore order and demonstrate his value as a man who could successfully balance the competing demands of emotional responsibility and personal ambition, as well as a guardian of the family legacy. Finn faced a complex challenge that included a number of internal conflicts, From the agonizing need to uphold the delicate balance of power within Forrester Creations and protect his own reputation to the more personal struggle of reconciling his own hidden past with the expectations of those who looked to him as a source of strength. All of his decisions were now scrutinized, and opponents and allies alike watched anxiously to see if he would step up to the plate or falter under the weight of his unresolved issues. There was a noticeable sense of tension as Finn negotiated boardroom meetings full of dissenting whispers, private conversations full of threats of retaliation, and times of introspection when the full cost of his previous transgressions and broken promises emerged, forcing him to choose between seizing the chance for atonement and giving in to the destructive effects of inaction. The fallout from Lee's violent retaliation against Poppy, meanwhile, started to shake the Forrester empire and make every member of the inner circle face the uncomfortable truth that the legacy they had once thought was based on unwavering loyalty and mutual trust was now tainted by betrayal, manipulation, and the inevitable consequences of long-held grudges. Poppy, who was once viewed as the epitome of diplomatic poise and unassailable authority, was left reeling from the raw, unfiltered display of Lee's rage, which not only revealed her own moral failings and the cost of her covert schemes, but also sparked a wider re-examination of the principles that had long constituted the family's hierarchy. Rumors of Lee's dramatic outburst, a moment when years of concealed suffering and silent accusations erupted into a public spectacle, spread in whispered conversations in the shadowed corners of the mansion and in the tense atmosphere of high-powered boardrooms. This event left a trail of broken illusions and made those who had previously placed blind faith in the family's legacy wonder if the price of ambition was worth the inevitable human cost. At the same time, Finn's challenge surfaced as a counterpoint to the chaos caused by Lee's retaliation. It was a challenge that was as much about demonstrating his own fortitude and ability to adapt as it was about maintaining the values of honor and integrity in the face of insurmountable odds. Every choice he made from that point on was burdened with expectation, and every hushed discussion served as a reminder that the future of the Forrester dynasty depended on his ability to face the demons of his past, to bring the disparate aspects of his identity together, and to carve out a path forward that respected both the legacy of his predecessors and the promise of a new era characterized by openness and accountability. Finn's internal struggle was reflected in the responses of those around him. Co-workers who had long depended on his steady leadership were now divided by uncertainty, family members whose allegiances were put to the test by the growing divisions in the Forrester alliance started to re-evaluate their own positions, and even the vigilant public, who had become accustomed to the dramatic turns and turns of the bold and the beautiful, sensed that a fundamental shift was taking place, a shift that threatened to overthrow the status quo and replace it with a new paradigm where the true measure of strength would be determined not by the accumulation of wealth or power but by the ability to face one's past honestly and to build meaningful relationships that could withstand the destructive forces of betrayal. In the midst of this chaotic environment, the entwined stories of Lee's retaliation and Finn's challenge became a microcosm of the never-ending conflict between vengeance and atonement, a conflict in which the spontaneous outburst of bottled-up emotions, as demonstrated by Lee's unbridled attack on Poppy, clashed with the more measured, intentional process of self-examination and accountability represented by Finn's internal conflict. In a world where every secret has the potential to be both a weapon and a burden, where every act of defiance carries the risk of irreversible damage, and where the path toward healing and reconciliation is as dangerous as it is filled with the promise of transformation, the contrast between these two forces, raw, unfiltered violence on one side and the laborious pursuit of personal growth and responsibility on the other, served as a potent commentary on the nature of conflict. As the week went on and the effects of Lee's retaliation and Finn's struggle started to solidify into a new reality for the Forrester family, it became more and more obvious that the way forward would not be straightforward or linear, but would instead necessitate facing the past, a readiness to face difficult realities and acknowledge that, even though the scars of betrayal might never completely go away, they can act as a catalyst for growth if handled with bravery, compassion, and a dedication to mending what has been damaged. The story of Lee's explosive act of revenge against Poppy and Finn's intimidating challenge ultimately serves as a testament to the enduring complexity of human relationships in the high-stakes world of Forrester Creations. In this world, the interplay between ambition, loyalty, and personal redemption is a constantly changing drama, And every broken trust and brave confrontation opens the door to the possibility of a future defined not by the shadows of the past but by the tenacity and transformative power of the human spirit, a future in which the legacy of the Forrester dynasty, battered by scandal and heartache but unwavering in its pursuit of truth, may finally find a new equilibrium, one forged in the furnace of conflict and tempered by the unwavering determination of those who dare to challenge fate itself.